situation, the ball stopped at once. The second one was the ball is stopped after some time. So in the second case, the time duration, the time taken is longer. So in the second case, delta t is longer. So F will be smaller. That's why to reduce the force applied by ball on the hand, the player is lowering the hand. So here the question is framed like this. A cricket player lowers the hand while catching the ball. Why? This is the reasoning question. So that is obtained from the Newton's second law of motion. One more example. There are so many examples for the Newton's second law of motion. We can explain by taking this relation. That is F delta t equal to constant. F delta t equal to constant, that means that constant is change in momentum. So for so many cases, suppose you are traveling by a vehicle and that all the vehicles are having shockers. Shockers means spring-like structures. That spring-like structures are provided in all the vehicles to prevent sudden jerk, to prevent the effect. Suppose it is traveling on a road, and the road may have some defects like this, in this way, right? As the vehicle is moving fast, it is moving fast. Suddenly, it is going down into that lower portion, and when it is moving to that lower portion, when it is jumped, when it is going to the lower portion, what happens? Suddenly, the lower portion also exert the force, and that force exerted by the lower portion on the vehicle, that force, it depends on the nature of the shocker. If the shocker is in good condition, then to change the momentum, that shocker will increase the time. When the time is increased, force will be reduced. So obviously, the force applied by the ground on the vehicle will not be transferred to the passengers, right? If it is not in good condition, if it is in bad condition, the shockers will be present, but if it is not in good condition, then obviously the force applied by the road on the vehicle will be transferred immediately to the passengers. So the passenger will get some effect of the ground. That is also another example. And then while packing the glasswares, suppose we have a packet. While packing the glasswares, glass items are packed. When the glass items are packed, what happens? We are putting thermocols in between them, in between every item. It is also because of to increase the time of impact, so that the force can be reduced. If we are not placing any kind of such items, thermocol, grass, cloths, papers, and the soft items are not placed in between them, then definitely the force will be large because of the less time of impact. So the glasswares can be damaged. So these are the some examples of Newton's second law of motion, right? So after this Newton's first law of motion and the second law of motion, so we can move on to the Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion. Third. This Newton's third law of motion, the statement is very simple. But it has very deeper meaning. The statement is simple. That is, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. An equal and opposite reaction. This is a simple law. So now we have defined all the three laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion. First law of motion, second law of motion, and third law of motion. All the three laws of motions are mentioning something about the force. First law of motion, it gives the definition of force. Second law of motion, it gives the measurement of force. By the second law, we can measure the force applied, force required to be applied on a body. And the third law of motion, it gives the nature of force which is required. Right? So this is the third law of motion. How it can be explained? See, here we are using the word action and reaction. What the action and reaction are? They are also the forces. They are also the forces. That means wherever the action present, the reaction also present. It means the action and reaction are always exist at the point simultaneously. You cannot find simply the action, or you cannot find simply the reaction. As soon as the action comes, reaction also comes at the same moment. That means both occurs simultaneously. Action and reaction, they occur simultaneously. That means this represents action is force, reaction is also force. That means force always exists in pairs. Force always exists in pairs. Whenever the action occurs, reaction also occurs. That's why we say that action and reaction both are forces. So force exists in pairs. Now let us explain that how this Newton's third law of motion is applied in various cases. Everywhere this Newton's third law of motion is applied. Even when I am standing on the floor, right? Here also the Newton's third law of motion. When you are sitting on a chair, sitting on desk, sitting on table, there also Newton's third law of motion is applied. When anything is placed, Newton's third law of motion applied. For every kind of activity, Newton's third law of motion will be applicable. Right? Suppose I take an example here. Suppose a surface, that is horizontal surface. On the surface is harder one, right? It is not soft, that it is not going to be compressed. On this hard surface, we are putting an object. This is an object. This object, it has the mass m. It has the mass m. Now what happens? So this object has mass m, which is placed on the surface. Now due to its mass, due to the mass of this object, what happens? The earth and the object, they apply force on each other. How? How they are applying forces? Due to the mass of object, it apply force on the earth in the downward direction, that is in the downward direction. That force applied is also called its weight. Its weight. So the weight, it is equal to the mass into acceleration due to gravity. In the first chapter, we discussed something about this acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration, it is the acceleration produced in any object when it is attracted towards the earth. That is acceleration due to gravity. So the product of mass and the acceleration